The aim of this video is to present and analyze two articles regarding Walmart in China. First, I'd like to present Walmart in China in order to understand the background for these articles. The first Walmart store in China was opened in 1996 in a city called Shenzhen, and today the Chinese chain of Walmart consists of more than 400 stores, which is quite a development for 20 years. Also, the chain in China consists of approximately 90,000 employees, and it also accounts for actually only 2% of Walmart's total revenue, but the Chinese market is in fact expected to grow severely throughout the following years. The first article, As Walmart Swallows China's Economy, Workers Fight Back, was written by Esther Wang, who you see on the picture here on the right. She's a New York-based digital and communication strategist, and she is also a freelance writer and has written several pieces for newspapers in the United States. She currently works for a media called BuzzFeed. The article was published in the American Prospects, which also tells us something about the reader because, the American Prospects is a monthly magazine that covers politics, culture, and policy from a very liberal perspective. And therefore, I believe the reader is politically engaged, might not read the big famous papers, and also think that he or she enjoys culture and multiculturalism. And in general, I believe these are American readers because it's an American magazine, and this also proves some of the intention with the article that I will discuss at the end. Anyway, the language is quite easy. It's a very interesting text, actually, but there are some difficult words that I like to present. First, there's dispute, which means a debate or a difference of opinion. Then there's arbitration, which means the determination of a dispute. Reputable, in other words, it means honorable and respectable. And then there's deteriorating, which is a verb, to deteriorate, and it means to make or become worse in character, quality, or value, and so on. So I'll begin with a summary and discussion of the topic. Esther Wang, she introduces by telling a story about a man called Wang Shishu who was fired from Walmart unjustly because he was organizing protests in order to achieve better working conditions. He is a veteran and he didn't have a high school diploma, so when he was hired at Walmart, he was very proud. He says, "At the time I trusted Walmart. After I started working there, I felt lucky and really treasured the job." So she explains that not only did he treasure his salary, but also the company's values and culture in general. Another quote from the text is, "Walmart respected workers as individuals," he said, parroting back to me one of the 3 tenets of Walmart culture. And this is a very common opinion amongst Chinese Walmart workers. So when they are met by unjust ways of treatment by Walmart, such as low wages, discrimination, and unpaid overtime, they were really surprised, and of course many started organizing protests in order to get better rights, labor rights at their job. Therefore, also many labor and non-governmental organizations are getting involved. And this is in fact not the first time that Walmart is critiqued for something. She says, "It's tempting to see Wang's story as part of a global fight against the world's largest retailer." And she's undoubtedly referring to their problems with the American Walmart workers protesting, as well as the Global Day of Action with workers from several countries, as well as a fire at the company's supplier's factory in Bangladesh. Also, we have read several articles discussing their situation in India with legislation and their situation in Mexico with corruption. So Walmart as a giant have been met by many obstacles throughout their years of success. Anyway, she also explains shortly that Shenzhen, where Wang lives and worked at Walmart, is designated a special economic zone, which means that it has gone through major development due to both foreign and domestic investments, and this is something that's common for the entire country as a whole. So yeah, that's basically what the article is about. She also mentions a few other examples. She mentions a young man named Gao Haitao who is called the father of Walmart worker organizing. He has a blog on which he uses this platform to protect workers' rights, and now he actually works for the union. He says, right now the industry standards are inadequate. If Walmart doesn't technically break the law, it's hard for the workers to do anything, which is a quote that actually really explains the situation well. And also, at the end of the day, there are so many different perspectives on this situation, and so many people are involved. So it's quite interesting to understand the situation in China with Walmart. Anyway, this brings me to the circumstances. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, many NGOs are getting involved. Also, another example of the effect of these protests is the unionization under the All China Federation of Trade Unions, which is the only union that can legally operate in China. And it has been criticized for being more invested in GDP growth than protecting workers from Walmart. And firstly, Walmart was unwilling to negotiate, but they managed to sign an agreement establishing unions at all stores in China. At all Walmart stores, to be exact. So this is sort of the circumstances of this article, but it's a bit unclear what the true circumstances are, because the unionization happened in 2006, and this article was written in 2013. But this is still a problem in China. Even today, Walmart workers in China are treated unjustly, even though unions have been created for them to get better rights. So basically the intention, and to conclude in this article, is that the reader, as I said before, is probably American and reads the American prospects, and while Esther Wang tries to inform American readers about this situation. And as I also mentioned before, American Walmart workers are even protesting, so they can maybe compare the situation at home to the situation in China, and it kind of puts Walmart in a bad light. And this brings me to the second article. The second article is named Walmart Says China Growth is on Target, and it was written by Laurie Burkett, who is based in the Wall Street Journal's Beijing bureau, where she writes about China's consumers. And as I said, it was published in the Wall Street Journal at around the same time as the previous article. So anyway, the reader of this article it can also be put into perspective with where it was published. The Wall Street Journal is a more popular paper than the previous article, and I believe the reader might have a higher income. It's maybe less political than the other paper or magazine, but I believe that the reader has an interest in business in general. And the language is quite short and easy, so there aren't really difficult words to elaborate. So the circumstances of this article is that Walmart announced recently that it plans to remodel 50 of its 380 plus stores in China, and even expand the chain furthermore in the country in year 2013. So this kind of contradicts the circumstances in the previous article. Anyway, they also announced that they would invest in improvement of its warehouses in order to increase food safety and reduce costs. So this suggested that the company was in fact stepping back from its growth targets, and many experts have also said that this is necessary in order to gain success. So basically, the article tells the reader about a Walmart chain that is struggling and closing stores in China, but nevertheless they are planning to expand the chain furthermore in the country, because China is a really important market for Walmart. They're also expanding online shopping in China as well, so they are maybe putting more effort into this than the physical stores. So the intention of this article is to, well, again, inform the American reader, maybe more business-related readers, and also informing American readers about the general situation with Walmart, because they have gone through, as I said, many obstacles throughout the years, and even though they are a very successful chain, they have difficulties with international markets. So yeah, this was my presentation.